Hello, I'm Steve. This is poem number of 100 poems in 100 days. I didn't see any harm in there being some kind of spoken word things going on in this project, and what follows will be an introduction for you all to a man known as Keith Layton. I can't claim credit for this, but I wanted to share some of his thoughts with you. Hopefully it goes well, hopefully you'll enjoy it, because I've been a fan of his for quite a while. Okay, here we go.
Just here. Oh. What a conveniently placed spotlight. Didn't Kermit the Frog do a thing where he was sitting on a step singing a song? Do you want me to do that? Oh. Okay. Me and Hendrix. We was like that. Like that. You know? Inseparable. Yeah? There are two types of rock and roll superstar genius. Those of legend and those that you can't quite remember. So when anyone says the name Keith Layton, you should know exactly which category I fit into. As most great rockers do, I started out as a roadie. In particular, I was head roadie for the Rolling Stones. One night after a gig in Amsterdam, Keith Richards comes up to me. He says, "Keith?" I says, "Yes, Keith." He says, "Keith, you never forget the first high of something new, something outrageous. And whether it's angel dust or rock and roll, you'll always keep chasing that first high. And you'll never find it without something new, without an exploration, if you will." Now, I was used to Keith saying some heavy shit, particularly just because most of the time, during our conversations, I was sampling the local herb. And this being Amsterdam was no different. Anyway, turns out Keith's new high to be chased was that of a musical proposition, a side project, if you will. Him on guitars, me on bass and vocals, but we were missing a drummer. Anyway, just so happens I knew of another discontented musical entrepreneur from a little act called The Who. "What about Keith Moon?" He says, "Keith Moon, Keith?" I said, "Yes, Keith." One phone call later, and it was done. We met up for beer and blow, and our work began. Keith wanted to call the band KKK. He was always somewhat controversial. I said, yes, Keith. Controversy is good, but while controversial, I don't think it will add to the productivity of the music. The next 20 years that followed were somewhat hazy, but I suppose one of the biggest parts of rock and roll is forgetting where you slept and waking up with a story. Keith's third trip to Betty Ford was really the final nail in the coffin. As Keith said, you can't make use of a man that isn't there. So we were left with two choices: lose the man or lose the music. A veritable catch-22. A phrase coined by myself and Keith when, after a 15-month tour and a multitude of evenings with a multitude of women, Keith caught 22 STDs. He saw them as a trophy, but after a visit to the clinic, they said you could either keep your trophy or keep your little general. Personally, think he made the wrong choice, but that's pride for you. We got a call from Betty Ford. Apparently, Keith had gotten out during the night. Found him a couple of miles away, blowing in the breeze from an old birch tree. And down one arm, he had written, "I don't know where I'll sleep, but I wake up with a story." It's rock and roll, man. It's like coming off the moon landing on this thing. This is one small step for Keith. That's mine now. Write it down. Write it down. Write it down. A strange place, this. No. Marvin Gaye used to have a pad like this. I think it was Marvin Gaye. Something gay. Was there another gay? There's a gay movement. That wasn't a name. That was a thing. No, it always got me. They put a dead guy in the packet. The fact is, if you're dead, you shouldn't be smoking anyway. I would say your health is already compromised. You know. I said that to a girl once. I says there's people starving in Africa. Didn't find it funny, so I put my clothes back on. Is that thing on? I don't know. It's weird having like robot eyes looking at you. They're doing it all the time. I got them all around my house, these little robot eyes. Apparently they help the police, but they only ever seem to come in when I'm doing drugs. Oh well. Cheers. What do you mean I can't? You bastard! You just sit and watch me roll the fucking thing up! What's the point? There's no one else here, apart from you, and me, and a robot eye. Lights aren't people. If they were, they wouldn't stay so still, would they? Keith Layton. Never really noticed before, but I don't pronounce my fuzz. My fuzz. I don't say them. I say fur. I think it's part of the accent. Might be part of the accent. Might just be thick. I don't know.